This is insane. This number keeps going up. Things are getting ridiculous, guys. We're going to be talking about this. It's going to be a short little video update what happened with AMC for the week. If you guys are new to the channel, by taking a guess, you can look at my name. I also talk about cryptocurrencies, but I'm a big fan and supporter of AMC and the movement. I do own AMC stock. I've even been adding to my position over the course of the week. And so, guys, feel free to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button, helps us out with the YouTube search algorithm, and share this video if you find it to be helpful. And please keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor. Everything I'm sharing is my own opinion, is my own research. So taking a look at this position on the dark pool, it's now over 600 million shares. Okay, 600 million. This number is continuously going up. It was about 555 million yesterday, if I remember correctly, and before that we were seeing it not even above the 500 million range. It's 624 million. The SEC really needs to crack down. As far as for the margin calls, some reports that I'm seeing, it looks like there's about 48 hours that they're allowed to be able to try and liquidate their positions before that fully takes place. And because of the 002 rule that was just implemented as of yesterday, the suggestion is that the likelihood of us seeing any of these margin calls really starting to happen is probably going to be happening on at the earliest on Monday. So we really got to see how things play out for next week. But 624 million, what does that really translate to? Okay, well, let's take a look at something here. How many shares of AMC are there in general? Now, if we take the outstanding, that's 513 million. Okay, we have the access to the float, but we're talking about, let's just do everything, 513 million. That means that there's even more via the dark pool that exists than all the shares of AMC stock in general. Okay, that's just, it's ungodly because they've reported that 80% of all of the regular retail investors own AMC stock. That has been confirmed, 80%. But the regular people don't have access to the dark pool. So if you have more than 100% that's being identified in the dark pool, doesn't that send up a lot of like red flags for people? I mean, this should be some very clear evidence for the SEC that they need to take additional steps, and they need to do it really soon because this is getting completely out of hand. Now, a position, if you guys didn't understand, like, let's go ahead and go back over here. It says position, right? To fully clarify, a position is the amount of a security, asset, or property that is owned or sold short by some individual or other entity. A trader or investor takes a position when they make a purchase through a buy order, signaling bullish intent, or if they sell short securities with bearish intent. So again, total amount of shares outstanding, 513 million. What does this say? 624 million, and that's just via the dark pool. I'm so this stuff makes me mad. It makes me really mad that these people think that they're going to get away with it. If we continue to show our conviction, something has to be done eventually, or there's going to be a lot of riots and protests. I mean, preferably it would be protests, but I think because people get so upset with this stuff, that's what ends up leading into riots. So, if you guys are listening to me right now and any of this stuff ends up developing, please don't riot. Just protests, like, do everything peacefully. Anyways, so it calls in the money. We got 49,166 now. As far as the expiration for today, this is going to be updated for next week. We were really hoping that we could push and close above $60. That did not end up happening, unfortunately, but we still held on above $50, which is still a pretty good win. So the best case scenario, I think, well, not the best case, but one of the better case scenarios would have been closing out above $60. There's 1.8 million shares available to borrow, over 2.5 million ETF shares available to borrow as well. According to the Ortex report, the estimates are now at 18.56% of the free float. This number has increased quite dramatically from their reports as of previous, but please keep in mind that the Bloomberg information is suggesting already much higher, and these are delayed reactions that we're seeing. I believe it's a 2-day interval that we're seeing where this gets updated, and for Ortex, they're only reporting on what's actually being reported to them by the individuals, so it's not quite as accurate as we've also been seeing them. Then recently making claims that the there are shares that are being borrowed but not actually shorted, and those shares that are borrowed are being returned. And so that's creating this illusion like as if the squeeze isn't really going to happen because the short interest rate's going down. I mean, there's so many different shenanigans of things that are going on right now. It's sick. It's really sick. It's all this kind of stuff that's going on that is making a lot of people feel like they just never want to invest in any stocks again. For one thing, me personally, I've lost any trust in hedge funds. I don't plan on ever working with hedge funds unless some major changes were ever to take place. I'm never going to do that. Anybody that I ever talk to and they ask my opinion, I'm going to tell them I don't recommend it. So if they don't have clients to work with, where are they going to be making money? Think about that for a second. Let's go ahead and hop on over here to the charts. So we do have a drop that's taken place. And guess what? Essentially bounced off of this symmetrical triangle pattern here before climbing back up in the post market here. It's currently at $54. The closeout on the day was at $54.06. It went down about almost 5%. It was 4.66%. So of course, they're trying to push it and drive the price down so that there's a lot of these in the money call options that don't end up getting to close out. They're trying to do everything that they can to extend their time as long as they can. But, I mean, tick tock, what's going on over here, right? Now, we take a look at what's going to happen on Monday. Hopefully, this ends up rising a little bit. We do have the pre-market to factor in. One concern that we have is it is showing below the level of support, at least based on my trend pattern formation. I can actually adjust this here to factor in based off of the wicks, but I was trying to substantiate things a little bit more off the bodies of the candles. So with taking a look at this, if it was to open next Monday at this point, we would need to have a nice rally up immediately, because if it didn't, then this is signifying a likelihood of a decline. And we could see a drop down to the Fibonacci sequence here at 49.84. A significant drop down to the 0.236 on the Fibonacci sequence would take it down to $44.43. And then if we dropped all the way back down here, we're looking at 35.53. But the hope is that we actually start getting this rally going on, because if the price starts dropping a lot, then they can legitimately start closing out some of their short positions depending on where their entry points are. We know that the average for the short positions is right around the $10 range. It's like between $10, $12 or so. And so with that, even a closeout at $35 would cause the price to start rallying again. Now, do keep in mind when you look at previous squeezes, things like, for example, the Volkswagen squeeze, there was quite a dramatic drop that took place first before it actually ended up then popping off and going absolutely insane. So if we have this big drop taking place, it doesn't mean that it's game over. If anything, that might be the sign that, like, now is the time to buy, and here we go, everything's launching off. We know that they're throwing everything that they can to try and avoid these things. And I really hope that justice prevails in this scenario, because it's just ridiculous that this is keep going on. It's sickening. It's really sickening. So if we can manage to break up above, ideally, if we can get above $54.54, then I think we still have a little bit of time extension. And then potentially the day afterwards, going in on Tuesday, if we're still within the symmetrical triangle pattern and it gets another nice little push, I think that's when we could really see this rally that may end up rallying all the way up here to the 1.618 level, which is right at $95.34. And that matches up really well with inside of this symmetrical triangle pattern here. Okay, so I'm going to go and wrap up the video there. Volume has declined quite a bit, so you should expect volume to then be kicking up, because you go down for so long and then you go back up, and it's a cycle. RSI is also pulled back down. It's at the 60 range on the daily, so there's an opportunity for it to even start climbing back there too. Anything is possible. Could drop down more. I'm still bullish on this. Apes together strong. Guys, I got referral links in the description. If you want to earn some free cryptocurrency or some free stocks, feel free to check those out. You can actually help support the channel by using those as well. Let me know in the comments what your guys' thoughts are on everything with this right now. And if you find this video helpful, share it. Let other people know what's going on. Please don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the thumbs up like button. Check me out on Twitter if you guys want. I'm at CryptoAtlasYT, and I will see you guys in the next episode.